All right, welcome to Niju-san. We're going to demonstrate playing the game real briefly. We've got the instruction booklet out here. We've got our deck, and we've actually already dealt 10 cards to each player. Now, we're only playing a two-player variant, so it'll look slightly different, and I'll mention the differences as we hit them, but there's only two of them. So we've dealt 10 cards out, and we have our player tokens, our meeples. We also have our draw deck. We'll also have a discard pile right next to the draw deck right here. Since we're only doing two players, we'll just do two. You want the pink one? Sure. I'll do the green. Now, we're not playing with the other two meeples, so I'm just going to set them off. To start the game, though, you actually take the meeples and just put them pretty much anywhere you want. We have to pick a starting position, and we're going to build the board as we go. So I'm going to start the meeples over here, but we could build the board pretty much in any direction we want. I just happen to be starting it here. So we'll take our hand of cards, and we'll look at our hands of 10 cards that we've dealt out. Now we've decided that my companion here will go first. You don't see the cards there. You can look at the cards in the instruction booklet, but essentially they all have instructions more or less at the bottom for the special cards, which are the gold stamps. The red stamps are your numbered cards. This one happens to be a 3. It's got 3 pips, and it's got the kanji for 3 in the upper left corner. And you'll see us playing those cards as part of our board. So we play this game in 2 phases. The first phase is finding the path, where we literally lay out the board. And the second phase is following the path, where we move our meeples along the board until we reach the end, at which point we play Niju-san, 23 in Japanese, in order to finish the game. I'll let my companion, who's the first player, go first, and she will play a 4. So notice that she has played the 4 in front of the meeples, and she is beginning to form the path. I also will play a card in front of hers, and I have played a decision card. Now, the decision card is special because it allows you to split the path in 2. So I've now split the path in 2. We're going to do this for 3 rounds because it's a 2-player game. In a 3 or 4-player game, you would only do this for 2 rounds, but to make the board more interesting for 2 players, we do it in 3 rounds. So would you like to play your next card? So my companion has played a 2, and notice that she's played it off of one side of the decision. That's really nice for her. This other side of the decision is still in play. I could play a card there, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play a special card. Now I'm playing the reduce card. The reduce card, I discard the special card, and it allows me to remove a card from any end of the path. Now that 2 is pretty powerful because I can combine it with lots of things. So I actually really want that 2. So I'm going to take that 2 into my hand. That's what the reduce allows me to do. So remember, that was my second turn. So my companion will take her third turn and play the 5 off of the decision, and I'll play my final turn, and my final turn will be to play this 6. Now, notice that you can wind the path any way you want. We could have put this in lots of different directions. Really, the only rule is that the path cannot intercede itself. You can't come in and create a bridge or something. Otherwise, you're pretty open. Now, we've played 3 turns in phase 1, and we've laid out our initial board. It's not terribly extensive, but there it is. It may extend further as we play. In fact, it almost certainly will. So now we're into phase 2, following the path. Now, the first player will still start this, and notice that she played a 4 as the first card on the path. There's a good reason for that, because now she's going to play a 4 and discard that 4 in order to move her token along the path. So in order to move along the path, you must play cards that match the next card in front of you. I too will do this. I'm actually going to play a 3 and a decision card. So if you'll notice, the 3, obviously worth 3 points. The decision card, when played in a set, acts as a 1 or a -1. I've played it as a positive 1, so 3 plus 1 is 4. I discard both of those cards, and I move my meeple onto the same card as my opponent. And now it'll go back to my companion. She's able to play a set of cards that match the decision. In order to move to the decision card, though, in order to do that, she'd have to play a decision, because the decision card is worth 1 point, right? 1 or -1. But if she doesn't have a 1, oh, see, so she's playing a walk special card. The walk special card allows you to move forward 1 space for free. So she'll take her meat, she'll discard the walk, and move her people 1 space. And we'll continue this way on and on. I'm actually going to take, what am I going to do? So I'm a little stuck here because I can't move forward on that decision path. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw 1 card here from the top. So you may either play a card, a special card, a set of cards to move forward on the path, or you may draw 1 card, and that's my turn. My companion is thinking very hard, and she's going to play a change card. So the change is another special card. Again, you can tell special cards because they have the orange stamp in the top left. The change card has instructions along the bottom, along with all the special cards. This one allows her to exchange from her hand 1 numbered card for any of the numbered cards on the board. So she'll discard the change card. She'll pick up the 5. You're thinking about it. So what she's going to do is she's actually going to exchange this decision card, because the decision card is really helpful. Remember, that's a 1 or a -1. It counts as either. So because she was able to exchange that, notice that we still have a split in the path, but the split is actually the 7 card now, not the decision. She's put the decision card back into her hand, which is really valuable because, again, it can act as a 1 or a -1 when she plays later. Now, that's great for her. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do. And because I have no way to move on to the 7, I'm actually going to play a lost special card. So the lost special card allows me to move someone back 1 space. You can use the lost card on yourself, but typically you'll use it to move an opponent back 1 space. We'll continue this way, moving forward and backward along the path, attempting to go forward and back. But as I mentioned, the path can change. It changes through the change card, or someone can play an extend. The extend card is special because it forces players to add to the path. And this is the only card that allows you to add to the path. Now, when the extend is played in a 3 or 4 player game, everyone except for the person who played this card must add a card to the path. In a 2-player game, both people add to the path because otherwise it wouldn't be much of a card. So this is great. I will go ahead and add an 8 to the end of this path. The extend gets discarded, and my opponent who played the extend is going to also have to add to the path. So she'll add a card, and notice that she also adds a card to this end. She could have added it to either end of the path, but she decided to put it over here to keep this one short, probably so that she can win quicker. At this point, I don't have a whole lot else that I can do because I can't make a 7, so I might draw. Again, if you can't play or don't want to play, you can just draw cards. So the game will proceed this way. We'll move our pawns. We might do, maybe someone else plays an extend. Maybe you change out cards. Eventually what's going to happen is we're going to get toward the end of the path. So let's say for some reason, let's put her here. So notice that this is an end of the path, so is this. In order to win, you have to complete your path by exiting the path and going off of one end. To do that, you have to have a total of 23. So, 4, 6, 7, 5. You have to discard a number of cards that match Niju-san, Japanese for 23. In order for my opponent to win, though, she has to play 23. She doesn't actually have 23 points in her hand right now, but in fact, she doesn't have many cards at all. How many cards do you have? Only 2 cards, but I have a whole lot of cards. So she might want some of my cards. So she's going to play Balance. Balance is yet another special card, orange stamp. Balance is great because you discard it, and I must turn over my entire hand to my opponent. She will then shuffle those cards up and deal them out to all players, beginning with herself. Really nice for her because she's going to get some cards. I'm going to lose some cards, and hopefully she'll get some cards that she really wanted. So we'll take up our hands. Remember that she played the last card, so it would be my turn. I would play some cards. But what I want to show you is the end of the game. So in order for her to end the game, to leave the board here, she needs to play 23. And really importantly, she can't use any special cards to complete this path. She has to play 23 points from her hand. Now, I don't believe she actually has 23 points in her hand. So she's going to draw, so ignore this part. So let's say that she drew a couple of turns, and eventually what she's going to do is play a bunch of cards. You need another card.
Please. Oh, please.
So again, we would draw at this point, we would play other cards. I might try to play a Lost to bring her back, but eventually she will probably defeat me, and the way she's going to defeat me is by playing a set of cards. Now there's no limit to the set, right? If I want to move on to this 8, I could play 4 2s in order to move on to that. But it's any combination. So a 3 and a 1 to move to a 4. You can play a 6 and a 3 to move to a 9. Any combination. For 23, again, you can play any combination of the numbered cards. So apparently she's a little stuck there. Here, take some more numbered cards. What have you got? So now she's got a 10, a 6, and there's a 5, so she's got 21 there. You don't have a 2 in there. And a 2. So 10, 6, 5, 2, that gets her 23 Niju-san. So she plays these cards, discards them, completes her path, and the game is over.